real business owners.
I honestly think one of the worst things an employee can do is leave a company just because another company is going to pay you 50 cents more or $1 more, especially if you
Initially.
Initially, right?
Yeah.
So let's say, for instance, somebody gets paid $15 an hour and they can get a job somewhere else making $16 an hour. The question that you should really ask yourself is that what's their high? Yeah. Because they might be starting you at their high and be like, because they just need bodies, right?
Yeah.
Like, hey, we'll pay you 16, but they might not be the company that raises you much higher than that. When the company that's paying you 15 currently, you're starting to become really valuable to them, that you can really start seeing raises. Fast forward in 3 years, the company that you stayed at might be paying you 18, and the company you left to go make a quick $1 an hour more might only get you to 17 in that same time frame. So you have to weigh this shit out. But people jump around chasing 50 cents or chasing $1. But if you stayed with one company long enough, you'll eventually ingrain yourself into their systems and their processes in their company so much so that you become more valuable to that company. Hence, you'll end up getting paid more.
Yeah.
You know, we've seen that with inside of our companies. The people that have worked with us for 10 years plus, where are they at with inside of our companies?
Most of them are leaders. Some of them have become owners. They have actual ownership in the company.
Exactly.
Some of them have taken over full departments. They're now 6-figure earners. You know what I mean? Like they've done their time.
They put in a decade's worth of work.
They know the system's better than anybody. They know our culture better than anybody. So it's like, when it's time to put a leader in place, like, who do you think we're going to look to? Now their cap has went up. They're not a $15 an hour employee anymore. They're a salary employee, or they're you know what I mean? And they paid their dues to do that. And they've had opportunities along the way to go make that quick buck. But, you know, it brings up a really good point, man, is like, how do you not necessarily just get through burnout, but like, how can you stay patient for that, right? And how can you be logical in your thinking of like, now versus then? And I think that you have to be a future thinker, man. I just do.
Yeah.
You got to be logical. Like if you're at a job that's dead end, you are at a salary cap, and you just know, like, let's say you work for some airline company and you know, like, man, there's 50 managers, you know, ahead of me, and I'm at my salary cap and I'm not going to get to where I want to be even in the next 20 years. Maybe you do need to make a change, you know, but you got to be logical in your decision making as far as like, you know, is it time for me to switch gears? But I don't think you should ever switch gears just because you're burned out. You should be logical and you should think ahead. You know, a lot of people say, like, you do live in the now. Living in the future is not good. Living in the past definitely isn't good. And I agree with all of that. But you can't be a logical thinker without thinking ahead a little bit. You got to be a future thinker.
I would say if, you know, because there are scenarios. Look, not every scenario that somebody's in right now is the perfect scenario for them forever. That's just the truth of the matter, and I would be dumb to tell you guys all just to keep doing whatever it is you're doing for the next 10, 15, 20 years.
Right.
But the reality is just because you feel burnout, that's not a moment to make a decision.
Yeah.
Okay? Because you're making an emotional decision based upon a low point.
100%.
Now, how could you make the right decision that can impact your entire life when you're at a low point?
Right.
Why don't you make that decision when you're not feeling burnout and you're not feeling tired, right? Like when things are going smooth and you still think that you need to make a change, then and only then, somebody should put themselves in a situation where they logically think about their future. Again, not emotionally based upon a low, logically decide what's going to happen if I stay here for the next 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years.
Right.
But I think too many people act based upon emotion, and they make decisions based upon a low point.
They do.
Right? Like if I had a terrible basketball game and missed every shot, I could feel burnout and have a streak where I don't hit the baseball for a week or 2 weeks or miss a bunch of shots if I'm an athlete or whatever it is. That doesn't mean to quit and give up. Right? They stay the course and it'll all come back. They'll hit their highs again, right? Like athletes, people, jobs, owners, it doesn't matter the situation. Everybody goes through burnout. I mean, a doctor that's going through school right now or a lawyer that's going through school that might only have 2 years left, they might feel burnout. Should they make the decision based upon that low to walk away from everything that they've ever done, the work that they've put in, the sacrifices that they've made, based upon a low moment? Like, this is life, people. You're going to have ups and downs, right? And the only reason why I'm really passionate about this one is because I've had many of them, just like you said. You've had many of them too. This business game ain't easy.
Yeah.
It'll fucking beat the shit out of you over and over and over. And it really makes you think, like, damn, is this all worth it? And then you stay the course, and then within 12 months, you're hitting new highs. Yeah. Things are starting to come together.
Yeah.
And it's not because you walked away. It's because you stayed the course and continued to nurture those relationships, continue to do what you needed to do. And then next thing you know, you've pushed through that plateau.
Yeah.